We pray for Ukraine or Ukraine.
Oh, and then another time I have two drivers, and the dog people went separately because at that time I had more dog people. And then he just totaled the car. Because I told him to follow, he didn't follow. He just went his own way. He's fine, but he didn't even use GPS. And then he asked the police somewhere to make a GPS for him, and then told the police, of course, where he was going. Yeah, in my car, for example, yeah? And my dogs are not that invisible, are they? Yeah, they're special dog people. They're supposed to go anonymously, huh? But then he totaled the car afterward because he didn't follow us, the first car. And that was not the only problem. He didn't even know where he was. He couldn't tell me where he was so that we could find him. But before that, I told him, okay, please, if you're lost now, just stay in that station. Stay there. We're coming back for you. No, he didn't. He left again and was lost so many hours. I've been home already all night. He was not there. Not home, but I mean, he went to the destination already. I wasn't worried about him. I was worried about my dog people. And true it was, he totaled the car. Luckily, he just had some scratches. And the dog people had no problem. No problem at that time. But because of that, you know, Hamid had liver problem and died soon afterwards, but died in agony. And it agonized me even up to now. Because maybe he ruptured his liver or something, and there's no cure. And he died in such an agonizing way, and I could not forgive myself. Not that he complained or anything, but he had pain, you know, and it was such a terrible thing that I could do nothing. Because he took also karma from that guy, you know. Dogs are like that. They take some of your karma if you do something for them. Oh, my God, all night I was worried sick because he didn't even turn on the phone, or the phone was out of order or something. And then finally, I could talk to him and he said his battery was almost going out. Oh, and then I said, okay, never mind. Just tell quickly your GPS position. If you don't know where you are, just tell the GPS. Luckily, he has a GPS. So I never knew how these things work. I never knew that you could trace somebody by GPS because I don't know how to use GPS myself. I don't even know how to spell GPS. But I do know from somewhere that you can find it if you know the GPS position. Because the guy, he just totaled on the highway. He didn't even know where it was. I said, there must be a house or some street somewhere. He said, no, okay, go a little bit further and find the house. He found the house, but he didn't know where he was still. No address on the house, he said. He could not reach the foreign language, whatever. Okay, fine. I said, come back quickly and read the GPS. And then the guy who knew the GPS stuff had to go there and get him back. Because even he couldn't go back, the car was total. That the car would cost maybe 50,000 US dollars, but we had to sell it for 600 euros. Nobody want to buy it. Well, maybe they could use the engine and they could fix it, but that's the way they buy it in the garage, you know, they don't pay much money. And I was just glad to get rid of it, whatever, you know. We have nothing to do with it anymore. And the driver who totaled his car, I was begging him on the phone to tell him where they were so that I could go and find them and my dog people. I said, we'll not sue you or anything. We don't blame you for anything. We just want to know where my friend is and my dogs. I just want to go and get them. And as soon as he heard that, he didn't talk to me anymore. He turned off the phone and then he drove away. He worried that we come and get him into trouble. I don't blame him, of course, but, you know, that's how people are. And I was so terrified because of my dog. People that didn't even know where they were. And his phone was almost out of battery, whatever it was. My God. You understand? Yes. So even having two drivers is not safe. Having two cars doesn't mean I'm safe and taking anything with me. And before, I was always working with Supreme Master TV or a lot of conferences and all that. And wherever I went, the camera had to go first and all the equipment. So I could hardly have room to put everything that I need, equipments and dog people stuff. And then all the things that I was working on, books or whatever, yeah, I have to read and all that. I hardly have any chance to take clothes or anything for myself and for my attendants also. So whenever we go to a new place, we have to start from ABC again, go and buy pots and pans and food and clothes, and you see? And so we have to buy a lot of things and buy fence to fence in the dog people. And so I cannot just take very little money. And if I take a lot of money, but in small money, then it would be a box of small money. So I only can take big money. But big money make people suspicious. Okay, if you buy big things in the shop, then maybe you can pay like 500 and people wouldn't say much because they're used to it. And a big shop, like a big supermarket, maybe okay. Not always okay. They call the security man and bring big machines, 2-3 machines to check. That's okay also, as long as they check, yeah? But if in a small shop, and sometimes I don't even have change, not enough to pay for gasoline and all that, then they refuse to take a big bill. So we have to scrap together coins or whatever we supposed to use for the toll. Yeah. And then later when we go to the toll station, we're stuck also. I have to beg all the passerby to change some money for us to pass through. Can't even use credit cards. Do you capiche?
Yes.
It has been getting worse, you know. Before it was easier, but recently it was terrible, terrible. Even changing houses doesn't help. Luckily, I have some money. Otherwise, in the old times, it would have been worse, eh? But the old time had good points, good advantages. Like they didn't know you. They didn't have ID card. They didn't have cameras to take your photo. You probably just had any paper, it's fine, but not your photo, so they didn't recognize you if you went out. But nowadays they have satellite, they have camera everywhere, they have helicopter, so nowhere you can hide. That is the problem. But you still can run. They say you can run, but you cannot hide. Okay, don't hide, can run. At least have car, can travel, can run. So sometimes I'm not as free as you are. Huh? So if you invite me to go here and there and I cannot go, don't be mad at me, huh? Don't be angry and upset or anything. Okay, I'm trying my best all the time. But the situation is not always favorable for me. This world is not my world. It's not your world either. We are in the wrong world. And we try to love this world and try to make it better. But it's not that easy. Not easy for you either, huh? Not easy for me, but we're trying. Why not, huh? What else to do? What to do? There's no other choice, huh? We couldn't do anything else. We couldn't live like everybody else. We couldn't just ignore things and enjoy ourselves and just say nothing, no problem, nada pasa, you know? You cannot, right? You know it's happening. You know things are not very good for everybody else, and we just have to try our best to help. Yeah, even though they would tell you sometimes, we didn't ask for help. Even some of the disciples, one of the disciples, I was asking things and I said, I'm just trying to help you here, you know, to see where the problem is. I didn't ask for help. Wow, I thought, okay, try to remember that when you're in hell again, saying that you didn't ask for help. You know, not everybody is grateful. And not everyone, even spiritual practitioners, is spiritually educated. Like you heard stories from India about how the disciples are very devoted to the Master, like to God himself, things like that. You don't have that in the West. You're lucky already. If they don't make trouble for you, not to talk about respect and being devoted to you. Yeah. But sometimes I need to use Westerner because in Western countries, if you keep using Chinese or Vietnamese, it's too obvious, you know. The two flat nose going out together in a luxury car with many dogs, and before even worse, birds. It's terrible. But it feels like I have to be devoted to them, not them to be devoted to me. Well, thank God they're doing something, but it's difficult. Sometimes very difficult to ask them to do something, as if it's a big favor from them, even though I pay at the end anyway. Like, I don't pay every month, but I do pay when they go out. You know that. Even if I go in your car, I pay for petrol, for example. Yeah? I pay something. Or if I go to your house and I eat something, I pay something like that. If you try to work for me, I pay you something. Yeah? Okay. Before, when people came here to work, I told to pay them, but she misunderstood. She make them pay. Because Chinese is like this. I say, the workers, you have to pay also, yeah? Yes. Meaning even though it's our people, you have to pay them also. But in Chinese, it says something like, 那些工作人员也要付钱哈. This is exactly meaning that those workers also must pay, huh? You know. But they don't say must be paid like in English. You understand me? They just say 那些也要付钱. They don't say who pays. But I thought that she understood because that's the way we always did. But then she make them pay instead. Wow, I don't mind such an assistant making money for me. But it's such a opposite, you know, such a big contradiction. But never mind, later we pay anyway, right? Anybody who I owe something, please tell me. Anywhere you work and don't make you pay, just tell me. I repay you back with interest. No kidding. You okay? Yes. Okay. Just tell everybody else if they did work somewhere and they had to pay for it. Then because they came and stay in hotel, you know, like this hotel or the other hotel. So it seemed like they had to pay because of the hotel, you know. Yeah. Originally, the government was not very happy that we make it into a free place. They even suggested that we have to make it like a hotel, so everybody could come in and pay for it. And then we could pay taxes to the government. Somehow, I think we managed to make it into a legal meditation place. But it took a lot of trouble, huh? Yeah, but it took a lot of trouble. Oh, my God, it's beaten me up black and blue all these years. I guess it's okay now. For how long, I don't know, but it's okay.